Welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast, where we explore how gold can be a part of securing your retirement.
Yeah,
You've worked hard to build your nest egg.
you sure have.
And now, as you approach retirement,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about protecting what you've earned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into gold IRAs
Right.
and how they can be a valuable tool
Okay.
for safeguarding your financial future.
It's interesting how in times of economic uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
people naturally seek stability.
Yeah.
And gold, with its historical track record, often emerges as a safe haven.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Especially with inflation and market volatility on everyone's minds these days.
Right?
It's no wonder people are looking for ways to diversify.
Uh-huh.
This reminds me of our listener.
Yeah,
You're someone who values a well-balanced approach,
I like that.
just like you do with your own learning.
Makes sense.
And that's where gold IRAs come in,
Okay,
as a potential way to add that extra layer of protection to your retirement portfolio.
that makes sense.
But before we go any further,
Yeah.
let's take a step back and make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
What exactly is a gold IRA?
All right.
And how does it differ from a traditional IRA?
That's a great place to start.
Okay.
The key difference lies in what the IRA actually holds.
Mm-hmm.
A traditional IRA typically holds paper assets, like stocks and bonds.
Okay.
A gold IRA, on the other hand, allows you to hold physical gold.
Oh, wow.
This could be in the form of gold coins, bars, or bullion.
Okay, so it's real tangible gold, not just a representation of it on paper.
Exactly.
That's a pretty compelling distinction, especially for folks who are concerned about the stability of paper assets.
It is.
Now, our sources highlight a couple of big advantages of gold IRAs,
Okay.
particularly for retirees.
Okay.
One is the idea of gold as a hedge against inflation. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Of course, think back to the stagflation of the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
While stocks and bonds struggled during that period, gold saw a significant surge in value. This really illustrates gold's power to protect investors from the eroding effects of inflation, because unlike paper currency, which can be devalued,
Right.
gold has intrinsic value, meaning its worth is inherent and doesn't depend on external factors like government policies.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a built-in safety net against rising prices, something that becomes even more crucial during retirement when you're living on a fixed income.
Right.
Speaking of fixed income, wouldn't you say that's one of the reasons why gold IRAs are gaining popularity among retirees specifically?
Absolutely. Retirees are particularly vulnerable to inflation
Right.
because it directly impacts their purchasing power. If the cost of living goes up but their income stays the same, their savings can quickly lose value.
Wow.
Gold's historical ability to hold its value during inflationary periods offers a sense of security,
Yeah,
a way to maintain their standard of living.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of a point our source makes about diversification. It uses a great analogy comparing it to the way you approach learning, always seeking out multiple perspectives to get a more balanced understanding of a topic.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Just as you wouldn't rely on a single source of information to form your opinions, you
Right.
shouldn't rely on a single asset class for your retirement.
Yeah.
Stocks, bonds, and cash each have their place,
Right.
but over-reliance on any one of them can leave you exposed to greater risk.
Right. It's about spreading the risk,
Yeah.
having a safety net in case one asset class doesn't perform as expected.
Right.
And that's where gold comes in.
Exactly. Gold's performance often differs from stocks and bonds.
Okay.
When the stock market takes a dip, for example, gold tends to hold its value or even rise,
Wow.
providing a stabilizing force within a diversified portfolio.
So it's not just about inflation protection, it's about having that counterbalance within your portfolio. If one area is down, another might be up. Yeah. Gold, in this case, offers that potential buffer.
Precisely. It's a strategic way to manage risk, particularly as you transition into retirement and seek more stability for your hard-earned savings.
And if you're ready to explore how a gold IRA could fit into your retirement plan,
Okay?
there's a fantastic resource available to help you navigate the process.
Right.
Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive
Okay.
for a free checklist that breaks down how to choose the right gold IRA company.
That's a good idea.
Because much like you wouldn't blindly trust any single source of information,
Right.
you wouldn't want to just pick any gold IRA provider.
No, you wouldn't.
You'd want to do your research, compare options,
Yep.
and make an informed choice that aligns with your goals.
That's a great point.
Now, our sources highlight a really intriguing aspect, wealth preservation.
Okay,
Oh, yes, that's a big one,
it is.
especially for retirees who have spent a lifetime building their savings.
Mm-hmm.
It's about protecting what you've earned and ensuring it lasts throughout your retirement years.
Exactly. It's almost like an insurance policy against economic uncertainty. Okay. Think about it. Unlike stocks or bonds, which are essentially pieces of paper representing ownership or debt,
Yeah.
gold is a tangible asset.
Mhm.
It's always been in demand, and it's likely to remain so.
Okay.
This inherent value helps safeguard your wealth, even if the financial world takes a downturn.
It's almost like having that backup generator when the power goes out, that feeling of security, knowing you have something solid to fall back on.
I like that.
But, whenever we talk about alternative investments like this,
Uh-huh.
there are always questions and concerns that come up.
Of course, it's natural to be cautious
Yeah.
and to want to understand all angles before making any financial decisions,
Yeah.
especially regarding retirement, which is such a crucial phase of life.
Exactly. And our source does a great job of addressing some of the common misconceptions
Okay.
people have about gold IRAs.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that gold IRAs are only for the super wealthy.
Okay.
But in reality, that's not necessarily true. While there are costs involved in setting up and maintaining a gold IRA, they're often manageable, particularly when compared to the potential benefits.
So it's not an exclusive club for millionaires, as some people might think.
Not at all. In
Hmm.
fact, with the right provider, gold IRAs can be surprisingly accessible for the average person.
Really?
And that's why doing your research and choosing a reputable company is essential.
Right. And that's where that free checklist we mentioned earlier comes in handy.
Yeah.
It can guide you through the process of comparing different providers and finding one that fits your budget and your needs.
Uh-huh.
But let's delve a bit deeper into those misconceptions because I know cost is just one of the concerns people have.
Absolutely. Another common concern is the perception that gold is a risky investment because its price fluctuates too much. While it's true that gold prices can be volatile in the short term,
Right.
it's crucial to remember that we're talking about a long-term strategy here,
All right.
particularly when it comes to retirement planning.
Right. It's not about trying to time the market or make a quick profit.
Right.
It's about creating a solid foundation
Exactly.
for your financial future.
And if you look at gold's performance over the long haul, it actually paints a picture of stability.
Okay.
It's weathered countless economic storms and consistently held its value.
Wow.
For retirees, this long-term perspective is key.
Yeah.
They're not looking for risky bets,
Right.
but rather a safe haven for their hard-earned savings.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like
Yeah.
the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner.
Yeah.
For retirement, you need that steady, reliable performance,
Yes.
not quick bursts of speed.
Right.
And gold historically has demonstrated that kind of resilience.
Exactly. It's about weathering those market fluctuations and coming out strong on the other side.
Okay.
And that's where gold's track record as a safe haven asset really shines. And remember, it has intrinsic value.
Okay.
It's a tangible asset with a long history of being in demand, regardless of economic conditions.
That inherent value definitely adds a layer of reassurance, especially in uncertain times. Now, I know some people might be thinking,
Yeah.
okay, a gold IRA sounds interesting,
Yeah.
but isn't it complicated to set up and manage?
That's another common misconception.
Okay.
In reality, setting up a gold IRA is no more complex than setting up a traditional IRA.
Really?
You'll need to choose a reputable gold IRA custodian who
Yeah.
will guide you through the process.
So it's not like you have to be a financial expert to understand how it all works.
Not at all.
Okay.
The right provider will walk you through every step. They'll help you select the right types of gold that are eligible for IRA inclusion.
Okay.
Set up your account and manage the storage and other logistics.
Wow.
It's really about finding a partner you can trust, someone who's knowledgeable and committed to helping you succeed.
And speaking of finding the right partner, that brings us back to that free checklist you mentioned earlier.
Yes, it is.
It's available at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. And it's designed specifically to help you evaluate different providers and make an informed decision.
It's a fantastic resource.
Yeah?
Think of it like a roadmap to navigating the world of gold IRAs.
Okay.
It's packed with valuable tips and questions to ask potential providers,
Okay.
helping you make the right choice for your specific needs.
That's so helpful because just like with any important decision, knowledge is power.
It is.
The more informed you are, the more confident you'll feel. Now, our source mentions some real-life stories
Okay.
of people who benefited from gold IRAs.
All right.
These stories really bring the concepts we've been discussing to life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hearing how real people have used gold IRAs to enhance their retirement security can be truly inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
For example, there's Janet,
Okay.
who was in her early 60s and had worked hard her entire life to build a comfortable nest egg.
Hmm.
Like many people, she was concerned about market volatility and wanted to protect what she'd earned.
A lot of our listeners can relate to that,
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure. Wanting to ensure that their savings last throughout their retirement and that their dreams are secure.
Exactly. So Janet decided to move a portion of her savings into a gold IRA.
Okay.
She wasn't a Wall Street expert,
Mm-hmm.
but she understood the importance of diversification and liked the idea of having a tangible asset as part of her portfolio.
Hmm.
When the market dipped, as it inevitably does,
Right.
her gold holdings held their value.
Wow.
This not only cushioned the blow to her overall portfolio,
Yeah.
but it also gave her immense peace of mind.
That peace of mind is invaluable, isn't it?
I think so.
It's about knowing you have a solid foundation even when the world around you feels shaky.
Precisely. And then there's David's story,
Okay.
which illustrates another key benefit of gold,
Mm-hmm.
its ability to preserve wealth in the face of inflation.
Right?
David was nearing retirement and was increasingly worried about rising prices eroding his purchasing power.
Inflation is a silent thief, isn't it?
It is.
It quietly chips away at the value of your savings, making it harder to maintain your standard of living, especially on a fixed income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
David understood this and recognized that gold has historically held its value during inflationary periods. He decided to invest in a gold IRA, seeing it as a way to maintain his purchasing power and ensure that his retirement savings wouldn't be diminished by rising costs.
These stories really highlight how gold IRAs can make a tangible difference in people's lives, offering not just financial benefits, but also a sense of security and peace of mind.
And what's fascinating is that these benefits aren't just anecdotal.
Yeah,
They're grounded in historical data and real-world experience.
that's really cool.
This raises an important question.
Okay.
What role could gold play in your retirement strategy?
That's a question worth pondering. And if you're feeling intrigued but not sure where to begin, remember that free checklist we mentioned earlier?
Yes.
It's available at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. And it can help you break down the process of choosing the right gold IRA company step by step.
Think of it as your personalized guide to navigating the world of gold IRAs.
Yeah.
Ensuring you make informed decisions that align with your unique needs and goals.
Exactly. It's like having a knowledgeable friend guiding you through the process,
Mm-hmm.
helping you avoid common pitfalls and make choices that are right for you. Speaking of common pitfalls, let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about some of the other misconceptions surrounding gold IRAs.
Right.
I know you've probably heard things, maybe even some negative rumors or skepticism.
Oh, absolutely. There's always a degree of skepticism when it comes to anything financial, especially something that's gaining popularity like gold IRAs.
Right,
But remember, critical thinking is essential in a world of information overload.
right.
Let's debunk some of those myths.
Perfect, because we want you to feel confident and informed, not swayed by unfounded fears or misinformation.
We already touched on the myth that gold IRAs are only for the super wealthy. But another common misconception is that gold is a risky investment because its price fluctuates too much.
Yeah.
While it's true that gold prices can go up and down in the short term,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to remember that gold has historically been a very stable asset over the long term.
And that long-term perspective is crucial, especially when it comes to retirement planning.
It is.
We're not talking about get-rich-quick schemes here,
Yeah.
but rather a strategic approach to preserving and growing your wealth over time.
Exactly. It's about riding out those market storms and coming out stronger on the other side.
Okay.
And that's where gold's historical track record as a safe haven asset really shines.
Right. It's about having that ballast in your portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of stability amidst uncertainty.
Another misconception is that gold IRAs are complicated and difficult to manage.
Right.
But as we mentioned earlier, it's really no more complex than setting up and maintaining a traditional IRA.
Okay.
Reputable gold IRA providers will guide you through every step of the process, from choosing the right type of gold to setting up your account and managing your investments.
So it's not like you need a PhD in finance to make it work.
Not at all. The key is to find a provider you trust, one that's committed to transparency and customer education.
And that brings us back to that all-important checklist, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That checklist is your roadmap to making informed decisions about gold IRAs.
Right.
It helps you separate fact from fiction
Mm.
and choose a provider that aligns with your needs and values.
Yeah.
It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and making choices that are right for you.
So if you're ready to dive deeper into the world of Gold IRAs, head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive and grab your free checklist.
Yes.
It's packed with valuable tips, insights, and resources to empower you on your journey towards financial security. It's like having a trusted guide by your side, helping you navigate this important decision.
It's all about taking control, making informed choices, and building a future that's both secure and fulfilling.
It really is about taking control and, shaping the future that you envision for yourself, especially as you approach retirement. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of Gold IRAs to debunking some common misconceptions.
Sure have.
But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
The rising popularity of Gold IRAs among retirees. Why are so many people turning to gold as they plan for their golden years?
It boils down to a fundamental human desire for stability and security,
Right.
especially during times of uncertainty. And let's face it,
Yeah.
we live in a world where uncertainty seems to be the norm these days.
It's like trying to navigate a financial obstacle course, isn't it?
It is.
You need a steady hand and a clear vision to make it through successfully, and for retirees.
Yeah.
Those obstacles can feel even more daunting as they transition from a lifetime of earning to relying on their savings.
Right. They've worked hard, built their nest egg, and now it's about protecting that wealth and ensuring it lasts. They need to know that their savings won't be eroded by inflation or wiped out by a sudden market downturn.
And that's where gold comes in.
Exactly.
It's a tangible asset with a long history of preserving wealth, even during times of crisis.
Right.
It's not subject to the whims of the stock market or the decisions of politicians.
Right.
It has that inherent value that transcends those fluctuations.
Yeah, that inherent value provides a sense of reassurance that's hard to find in other asset classes.
Okay.
Remember, gold has been a store of value for centuries. It's a physical asset that you can hold in your hands, something that has a permanence and solidity that many people find comforting.
It's like having a solid anchor in stormy seas. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about having that safety net, that sense of security. And that sense of security becomes even more critical during retirement when you're living on a fixed income.
Absolutely. Retirees are particularly vulnerable to economic shocks.
Right.
Because their income is typically fixed. They need to know that their savings will last, that they can maintain their standard of living even if the cost of goods and services continues to rise.
So Gold IRAs offer a way to diversify their portfolios, hedge against inflation, and preserve their hard-earned wealth.
Yeah.
It's about taking control of their financial future and creating a sense of peace of mind. It's about being able to enjoy those retirement years without constantly worrying about the ups and downs of the economy.
Precisely. It's about knowing you have a solid foundation, a safety net that will help you weather any storm, and that peace of mind is truly invaluable.
It really is. So what does all this mean for you, our listener? What role could gold play in your retirement strategy?
That's a question only you can answer, but we encourage you to explore the possibilities, to do your research, and consider whether a Gold IRA might be a good fit for your unique circumstances.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to begin, don't worry. There are resources available to help. In fact, we've mentioned it a few times already, but it's worth repeating. Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive and download our free checklist.
It's a good idea.
It's a fantastic resource that can guide you through the process of choosing the right Gold IRA company, ensuring you have a trusted partner on your journey toward financial security.
It's all about empowering yourself with knowledge, taking control, and making informed choices that align with your goals and values.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Gold IRAs. We hope you found it informative, insightful, and maybe even a little inspiring. Remember, your financial well-being is in your hands. And with the right knowledge and resources, you can create a retirement that's truly golden.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep striving for that sense of security and peace of mind that we all